Vice President Mike Pence says the greatest concern is access to tests for the virus. He says 1.5 million tests will be available this week. Here in San Antonio, specially designed test kits have arrived, but Metro Health confirms it could be weeks before they're ready to use. Eyewitness News reporter Roxy Bustamante explains why.
The CDC shipped out thousands of coronavirus test kits across the country, and San Antonio Metro Health confirms they now have the kits in hand, but it could take 2 to 3 weeks to validate the tests before they can use them. Metro Health is the only local agency with these test kits for now.
The test kits had to be designed, of course, by the CDC and the World Health Organization to detect the specific strain of coronavirus, which is called COVID-19.
Dr. Fred Campbell with UT Health San Antonio says the risk to the community remains low.
It's still important to be evaluated, but it's very unlikely that this illness is going to be coronavirus. It's much more common to have influenza or other flu-like viruses.
Metro Health says patients with confirmed coronavirus have reported mild to severe symptoms of fever, cough, or shortness of breath. Currently, the coronavirus has not spread to the community. The CDC recommends to take precautions to avoid exposure to the virus, including staying away from people who are sick, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands, cover your cough or sneeze, and clean and disinfect frequently.
Hand washing is still the most important means of reducing transmission of infection during this season.
Roxy joins us live tonight. Roxy, if someone is afraid they could have the coronavirus, what can they do?
Deborah, Metro Health says they recommend for people to contact their primary provider's office before going in. And they say that local physicians and clinics know the protocol set by the CDC. Plus, you can always call Metro Health's deadline if you have any additional questions. Of course, we have that on our website, KENS5.com. Roxy Bustamante, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.